Right now at 6, we have the latest on the man arrested in a swamp. We're showing you the technology that helped authorities find him and rescue him. And your help is needed to make sure no one goes hungry this Thanksgiving. The items organizers say they need the most this holiday season.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now This Morning.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us on this Wednesday, November 20th. I'm Josh Breiter. Lee Linscheid has the morning off. Meteorologist Hattie McLean is here now, and kind of a foggy start out there. Really needed those headlights this morning.
Yeah, you and I encountered that fog on our way into work already much earlier this morning. Well, it's only gotten thicker across parts of southern Wisconsin. Here's the view from the Edgewater Skycam. You can see the dome of the Capitol, but it is in a little bit of fog this morning. Dense fog advisory is in effect for our entire viewing area until 9 o'clock this morning. Here's a look at those visibility numbers. 4-mile visibility at the airport in Madison, but I can tell you that the visibility is much less here on the west side of town, and you're seeing visibility drop to about 1/4 mile in Mineral Point, 0 visibility in Monroe, down to just a mile visibility in Platteville. So some pretty thick fog west of Madison this morning. Temperatures are above freezing, so that is good news. You shouldn't encounter any slippery spots on the roads. We'll climb to highs in the 40s this afternoon. Let's take a look at those first alert traffic maps now. We'll see what's happening on area roads. Here's a view of the Beltline at Park Street. You can see travel going at posted speeds in both directions there. No issues on the Beltline right now, but be aware of that foggy situation and the reduced visibility. Be sure to turn those headlights on this morning. No other issues to report here in and around Madison. I did look around southern Wisconsin, and travel is going at posted speeds with no accidents to report.
So fog lights this morning. We're going to need the umbrella tomorrow.
Yeah, windshield wipers and umbrella. We have a lot of rain in the upcoming forecast.
Wow. A little something that we're not used to lately.
That's true. We've been more accustomed to snow recently.
I'll take the rain.
I will too.
All right, Hattie, thank you. We are tracking breaking news right now in the Channel 3000 Alert Center. Madison police are looking for a group of teenagers they say robbed a gas station on the west side overnight. It happened just before midnight at the Speedway gas station at Verona Road and Raymond Road. Police say the clerk was closing the store for the night when 3 people walked in and showed a silver gun with brown grips and green sights. One of the suspects was described as a 15-year-old, another around 18 years old. They ran from the gas station and haven't been found. If you have any information, call Madison Police. More breaking news overnight. One person is in the hospital after a rollover crash on the Beltline. This happened just before 11:30 in the westbound lanes near Rimrock Road. We're told the victim was the only one in the car and no other vehicles were involved. The town of Madison Police, EMS, and fire all responded. This comes less than 12 hours after an earlier rollover crash on the Beltline. In that crash, one person died at the scene and another was seriously injured after being ejected. Around the state this morning, one student is hurt after a rollover crash involving a school bus. It happened in western Wisconsin near Arcadia. Investigators say the bus lost control on a patch of mud. The bus was carrying around 20 kids at the time, but again, only one student is recovering this morning. Right now, the city of Madison is looking to reduce crash outcomes like these by considering joining a project that aims to get rid of all traffic deaths and severe injuries. $350,000 will be included in the city's budget next year to pave the way toward Vision Zero. It's a project that started in Europe, making its way to many cities in the U.S., including Chicago and Minneapolis. It might sound like a lofty goal, but it's one Madison is seriously thinking about taking on.
If we could address fatalities and injuries on just 4% of our roads in the city, we could eliminate half of all the injuries that are causing, ending lives or critically changing lives forever.
To officially meet the Vision Zero criteria, Madison will need to make a long-term plan on how to eliminate severe injury crashes, something the transportation director says they'll look at next year. In the meantime, the extra $350,000 will go toward improving dangerous roads and intersections. As we're seeing an uptick of car thefts in our area, we're now learning which cars are being stolen the most. The National Insurance Crime Bureau is announcing their list of the 10 most stolen cars of 2018. The 2000 Honda Civic tops the list with more than 38,000 stolen last year. The 1997 Honda Accord comes in second, with the 2006 Ford pickup truck in third. In total, a little less than 750,000 vehicles were stolen last year, which is actually about 3% less than the year before. We have an update to a story we first broke to you yesterday involving the man arrested in a swamp. Police are now showing us how they were able to end a chase that ended in the swamp near the Alliant Energy Center. You'll remember it started as a traffic stop for a registration violation. Just take a look at this video. When the car seems to come to a stop, 28-year-old Uriah Smith jumped out of the passenger door and ran into the nearby marsh. Madison police were called to use their drone, and in just seconds, the infrared camera picked up his body heat. When they found Smith, he was in waist-deep water and couldn't get out because of all of the mud. He's now facing charges of resisting an officer. Around the state this morning, one man is dead in the fifth officer-involved shooting in less than a month. Police say Luis Cordona kidnapped his ex-girlfriend, Babette Carabello, from her workplace yesterday morning at gunpoint. Officers pinged his cell phone and put up a drone to find his SUV. They found the two near an ATV park in Kewaunee County, where Cardona then shot Carabello. That's when the deputy fired. Carabello was alive when she was taken to the hospital, but her condition is still unknown this morning. News 3 Now is speaking exclusively with the man who brought attention to sexual misconduct at the 115th Fighter Wing in Madison. He tells us that he is being discharged for doing so. Master Sergeant Jay Ellis says months after Senator Tammy Baldwin pushed for an investigation into what he calls a hostile and oppressive environment at Truex Field, the Guard's medical examination board let him know his file was being looked at. He was ultimately notified he'd be medically discharged, despite what he said are exaggerated claims or flat-out lies about his medical history.
Definitely rips your heart out when they, you give everything that you have, to serving your country, and you give it to, to an organization like that, and they just seem to be able to cast you aside without thinking twice about it.
Ellis says he doesn't regret coming forward. He is appealing the discharge, though, and until that appeal is settled, he will still be able to go to work. Senator Tammy Baldwin is also pushing for an investigation into his discharge. Well, we all have our own Thanksgiving traditions, and the folks at the Goodman Community Center have one 31 years strong. That's how long they've fed hungry families on Turkey Day. Our Keely Arthur joins us live with a look at all of the work that goes into making this happen and how you can help. Hi, Keely.
Hi, Josh. Yes, that is right. I am live at the Goodman Community Center's gymnasium, and this is being filled with amazing things like canned green beans, corn, stuffing, everything you need to make an incredible Thanksgiving Day meal. Now, they're going to create baskets filled with all of those items and then donate them to families in need in our community. And I have here with me Sam McDaniel. He is the food pantry coordinator. And Sam, I understand you had a turkey emergency yesterday, but crisis averted because of swift donations. What food do you need right now?
Yeah, so the basket contains a whole bunch of different things, and two of the categories that we don't get enough donations pretty much every year, canned fruit and cranberry sauce. Cranberry sauce is one of those kind of defining things for Thanksgiving. And it's not the one that people want to donate for some reason, but it's something we need 4,000 cans, and the canned fruit we need 8,000. So those are ones if people want to point at the most need, that's where we are right now.
Well, you heard it here. Donate cranberries and canned fruit. And then in terms of the reaction you get from people who get these baskets, what is that like?
It's really wonderful. I mean, it makes all of the hard work really worthwhile, and it really is the thing, I think, besides people getting food they need, that really defines the program, in that there are 600 or 700 volunteers across 8 weeks that come and help with this and help 22,000 people get Thanksgiving dinner. And when those folks see everybody working together to make that happen, I think that feeling carries throughout the whole year, long after the meal is gone.
Yeah, really incredible partnerships and so much support in this community. And coming up in the next half hour, we're going to see some of that support in live action. 30,000 pounds of vegetables are going to be delivered here. So exciting, Josh. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Keely Arthur live this morning. Keely, thank you. Right now, the U.S. Postal Service wants you to know the shipping deadlines ahead of Christmas. Looking ahead, if you're mailing gifts to an Air or Army post office, a fleet post office, or a diplomatic post office, they need to go out by December 9th. The deadline is December 14th for retail ground. For greeting cards and packages under 1 pound, it is December 20th. And if you're a procrastinator, you have until December 21st to send gifts through Priority Mail and until December 23rd for Priority Mail Express. And this holiday season, you can become one of Santa's elves as part of Operation Santa. You'll find everything you need to know on the USPS website. All over the country, kids will send letters to Santa asking for everything from toys to the basics like a warm coat or shoes. You can also help make their Christmas wish come true starting Monday. Letters to Santa from low-income children are available for adoption online. You can pick a letter from any city in the country, and it's tax deductible. Just remember those deadlines we told you about and get them out by December 20th. And if you want to add your child to the list, beanelf.org has everything you need to know. 6:10 right now. Public hearings continue today in the ongoing impeachment inquiry. Coming up, we're hearing from one of the witnesses to the president's phone call who says he was shocked at what he heard. But first, it is a foggy commute this morning as you head out the door, and another storm system will impact your morning drive tomorrow. Hattie's got the first alert coming up on News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning from the Hattie-O patio. Some foggy conditions this morning across southern Wisconsin, so be aware of the reduced visibility. A dense fog advisory is in effect right now for our entire viewing area, and that goes until 9 o'clock. The fog has really developed over the last couple of hours. Take a look at our current visibility from Madison. Points to the west. Visibility is likely less than a mile right now. In fact, it is coming down at the airport to 2.5 miles, but zero visibility in Monroe, quarter-mile visibility in Mineral Point and Lone Rock, and about half-mile visibility in the Dells. So the western half of Dane County socked in pretty good with some dense fog right now. Take a look at where we turn our attention to, though. Once the fog lifts this morning, We have just cloudy skies for the rest of the day, but rain is in the forecast for later tonight into Thursday. It's definitely going to be a very wet start this time tomorrow. And then looking ahead further to next week. Next week is a big travel week with Thanksgiving falling on Thursday. Wednesday, there could be some rain changing to snow here in southern Wisconsin with the potential for a little bit of accumulation. So we'll keep our eyes on that next storm system. Will likely impact many folks as they head wherever they are going for the holidays. Now, ahead of that storm, though, we do have rain this week, and we are talking rain starting tonight, most likely after midnight for most of southern Wisconsin. But those rain chances go up to near 100% overnight into tomorrow morning. Here's a look at your future track precipitation. Still looking like a general 1/2 to 1 inch rain across southern Wisconsin. That is quite a bit of moisture for this time of the year. So keep that in mind. There may be some streams and river levels that start to rise as a result of all this rain over the next 36 hours. A live look from our Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville. Definitely not able to see as much as we were just 30 minutes ago in Platteville. 37 there in Platteville, 37 here in Madison. Monroe and the Dells are down to 33. So in those areas, there could be some slippery spots on the road with that fog pretty thick this morning. Your future track forecast model, once the fog lifts today, we're still going to be stuck with a lot of clouds. Unfortunately, another cloudy day. Temperatures closing in on 40 though by the lunch hour, then topping in the low to mid 40s for all of southern Wisconsin. So at least it's a little milder today. For tonight, cloudy skies with that rain developing right around midnight, and it will stay in the area covering all of southern Wisconsin through the morning commute tomorrow. So a very wet start to the day. At least it'll be warm enough. Take a look at those temperatures, right around 50 degrees in the morning. So it will be pretty mild. Temperatures will drop back during the afternoon, though. By 6, we're already down to 40. So here's a look at your extended forecast then. Sunshine and quiet weather as we head through the end of the week into the upcoming weekend. 35 for a high on Friday. A little chilly there, but the weekend actually looks pretty nice with sunshine and highs in the 40s. Let's get a look at those First Alert traffic maps now with Josh Tim. Good morning, Josh.
Yeah, good morning. Well, as Hattie mentioned, there is some fog hanging around the area, so make sure you drive with some extra caution and make sure you have those headlights flipped on. So far, though, it's another quiet start to the morning commute with really nothing major happening on the Beltline so far in either direction. Other roads here in Dane County not looking too bad yet, but I would plan on things picking up over the next hour or so. No delays showing up downtown around campus. Volume is not an issue at this point. And other main routes, including the interstate, they're moving along at the usual speeds with no crashes or delays. Your First Alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Josh and Hattie, thank you both very much. Today, we're heading into the 4th round of public hearings for the ongoing impeachment inquiry into President Trump. We've now heard from 3 people who were on the president's phone call to Ukraine that's at the center of that inquiry, including Army Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman, who in his testimony says he was shocked by what he heard.
You heard him raise that subject again that Ambassador Sondland had raised before about investigating the Bidens, right?
I did.
And I want to ask you, when you heard him say that, what was the first thought that went through your mind?
Frankly, I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
Today, Gordon Sondland, ambassador to the European Union, testifies. Sondland revised his original closed-door testimony surrounding a possible quid pro quo after other witnesses contradicted him. Former National Security Council aide Tim Morrison said Sondland told the Ukrainian official U.S. aid would be released only after Ukraine publicly announced the investigations. In just a couple of hours, we'll hear from Gordon Sondland, Laura Cooper, and David Hale, and tomorrow Fiona Hill and David Holmes will be testifying before the committee. Stick around after News 3 Now this morning to watch CBS's full coverage starting today at 8. Meanwhile, the top 10 candidates for the Democratic presidential nomination are getting ready to take the stage tonight in Atlanta. The debate comes less than 3 months before the first primaries. Candidate Pete Buttigieg is surging in Iowa, a key state in those primaries. Buttigieg and the other candidates will be sharing their stances on key issues like health care, immigration, climate change, and foreign policy. You can watch the party's 5th debate at 8 o'clock tonight and get a full recap on News 3 Now at 10. Vice President Mike Pence is making another visit to Wisconsin today. The vice president's office says he'll be touring Marinette Marine as well as speaking during his time in the Badger State today. The visit was originally scheduled for back in October, but was canceled because of another event being held by the president last minute in D.C. 6:19 right now. When traveling for the holidays, you have enough to worry about. Long lines, making sure everything's packed. The last thing you want to worry about is getting sick. So coming up, we're talking about how to make sure you and your family stay healthy over the holidays. But first, you're going to want to take things slow on your commute this morning as we are tracking some dense fog in the First Alert Weather Center. Hattie will have more on that when News 3 Now This Morning continues. .22 on your Wednesday morning. Doing the fog, or we're doing it. Leah's not here, so I can't make her laugh.
True.
But
Yeah. Here's Platteville. Leah likes to look at Platteville. And
what look?
I know we can't see anything this morning. Pretty foggy. It's actually gotten thicker in Platteville, though. Just an hour ago, we could see it a little bit, but nothing right now. Be aware of that fog situation. Put the headlights on this morning. Keep that in mind. Go maybe a little slower than you might normally. 3/4 mile visibility here in Madison, so the visibility has dropped quite a bit just in the last 10 minutes at the airport. We definitely have fog here on the west side of town. Visibility is down to 0 in Monroe. 1/4 mile visibility in Mineral Point and Platteville. Has been a little improvement in Lone Rock, but visibility still at 1/2 mile in the Dells. So the fog is pretty widespread this morning. You'll want to plan a little extra time to get to your destination. We're all under a dense fog advisory until 9 o'clock this morning. Temperatures are in the 30s. Most places are well above freezing. We're 37 here in Madison. 33 in the Dells, though, and 33 in Monroe. That may mean there could be some slick spots on the roads with that fog and the moisture in the atmosphere this morning. Our bus stop weather forecast has a foggy start, cloudy at lunchtime. Temperatures right about where they are right now. We will climb into the 40s, though, this afternoon. Not a bad day, even though we do have quite a few clouds. The forecast for the rest of the week calls for a pretty wet start on Thursday. You'll need your rain gear for that day, but Friday, more sunshine A little cooler though with highs in the 30s. Have a wonderful day.
All right, Hattie, thank you. Well, if you're thinking about breaking out the crock pot this month because you're craving all of the comfort food that you can get your hands on, you are not alone. It turns out cold weather makes you crave that comfort food. It is biology. A TV station in Atlanta asked a food scientist why that is, and she says we undergo biological changes during the winter. So when the temperature drops, we search for foods higher in sugar and fats. Studies show people gain an average of 6 pounds every winter. Well, it is cold and flu season, and the holiday travel season is ramping up, meaning all of that sneezing, coughing, and aching will be boarding a plane and sitting at the Thanksgiving dinner table with you. Christina Laurie joins us with 3 ways the doctor says you can help avoid getting sick. And I see you've got some props this time.
I brought some friends this morning.
These are really good friends to have, too.
They are. This one is just directly from my desk.
There you go.
So, Josh, this morning, infectious disease specialists at the Mayo Clinic say the #1 most important thing you can do is really, really obvious. Wash your hands. They say it's important to wash before and after you eat, before and after you travel, probably even right now too, but that's not all you should do. Tip #2, doctors say make managing your holiday stress a priority. Stress leads to less sleep, a poor diet, lack of exercise, and all of those things make you more likely to get sick. Doctors recommend sticking to a schedule as closely as you can, even on travel days and throughout the holidays. And tip #3, drink lots of water. Doctors from the Mayo Clinic say people are more dehydrated over the holidays, probably from all that drinking. That's especially problematic for flyers since airplanes are already dehydrating. They recommend that instead of relying on in-flight drinks, you pack a reusable water bottle and fill it up before you board the plane. And a bonus tip for you, doctors don't necessarily recommend bringing antibacterial wipes on board and wiping down everything. They say it certainly doesn't hurt, but doesn't help much either. And they say washing your hands provides so much more protection than even these hand sanitizers. But I know I just take a pump all the time. I was just explaining to people I've been in physical therapy for a little bit, and there's so many hand sanitizer pumps, and I hit them all anytime I walk past one.
I'm a germaphobe, so it's like all the time washing my hands, hand sanitizer, wipes. I can't get enough of it, so even some more. All right,
talking to you.
Yeah, Christina Laurie helping us out. Christina, thank you. To help speed through security, it's not too late to sign up for TSA PreCheck. PreCheck members keep the line moving since they don't have to take off their shoes, belts, or jackets, or take their laptops and liquids out of their bags. The membership is $85 for 5 years, and to become a member, all you have to do is fill out an application online at the website you see at your screen right there, tsa.gov/PreCheck, and that'll be followed by an in-person background check and fingerprinting. And a warning for those of you traveling by air this holiday season. Public charging stations and airports could be used to steal your identity. Tech experts say that those charging stations could automatically be keeping your data on a computer, which someone could access later and transfer to their own personal computer. They say cheap cords used on these stations also run a risk of electrocuting your phone. The best way to avoid these risks is to simply plug your own charger directly into an outlet. Well, News 3 Now is on a mission to help save you money, and this segment is all about saving you money before you set the table this Thanksgiving. Happening now, there's a new app that lets you compare prices at local grocery stores in real time. The app is called Cook List, and it matches items on your shopping list to products available at multiple local grocery stores. They've rolled out a Thanksgiving plan tool that helps plan your dinner in a minute and send an order for curbside pickup. Walmart, Target, Pick and Save, and Metro Market are all available local grocers used for price comparison and ordering through Cook List. It also has a premium version that unlocks the ability to order online, and this month they're donating all of the proceeds to buy Thanksgiving dinners for families in need. Remember, we hope to keep the conversation going about prices in Madison. News 3 Now wants to know what kind of affordability questions you have or what you're experiencing. Just let me know by contacting me on social media, or you can simply send me an email. Still ahead for us on a Wednesday morning, we've got the top 3 things you need to know today before you head out the door. Also ahead, as you begin your holiday shopping, we're telling you about some toys to avoid as they could be a danger to your children. Keep watching News 3 Now this morning at 6:28. We'll be right back.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for staying with us on this Wednesday, November 20th. I'm Josh Spreiter. Leah has the morning off. Hattie has a foggy start to this Wednesday in her forecast, but first, the top 3 things you need to know today. And we start with breaking news overnight. One person is in the hospital after a rollover crash on the Beltline. It happened just before 11:30 in the westbound lanes near Rimrock Road. It comes less than 12 hours after an earlier rollover crash on the Beltline. One person died at the scene and another was seriously injured after being ejected in that crash. The second story we're following, we're just hours from the 4th round of public hearings for the ongoing impeachment inquiry into President Trump. Today we'll hear from Gordon Sondland, Laura Cooper, and David Hale. We've already heard from 3 people who were on the president's phone call to Ukraine. That's at the center of the inquiry. Be sure to stick around after News 3 Now this morning to watch CBS This Morning's full coverage starting at 8. The top 10 candidates for the Democratic presidential nomination are getting ready to take the stage tonight in Atlanta. This debate comes less than 3 months before the first primaries. Candidates will share their stances on key issues like health care, immigration, climate change, and foreign policy. You can watch the party's 5th debate at 8 o'clock tonight and get a full recap on our news at 10. Those are your top 3 things you need to know today, and Hattie's here now with a foggy look at the forecast. Hi, Hattie.
Good morning, Josh. Yeah, a little tough to see around southern Wisconsin this morning. A dense fog advisory for our entire viewing area. It'll expire at 9 o'clock this morning. Here's a look at the view from the WISC-TV Skycam. Socked in with fog pretty well. Can't see anything from that shot this morning. Visibility is at 3/4 of a mile here in Madison. It's been pretty consistent, less than a mile from Mineral Point down to Platteville and then up towards the Dells. Monroe, particularly foggy with 0 visibility as well. So be careful on the roads this morning. Be sure you have those low beam headlights on. As you head out the door, temperatures in the mid-30s this morning, climbing back into the 40s at least for a few hours this afternoon. We're not going to see a lot of sunshine today, but at least it will be a little milder. Now, looking ahead, we do have rain in the forecast. You'll likely stay dry through the morning and evening commutes. The rain chances really ramp up after midnight tonight, and then rain is likely as you head out the door tomorrow morning. The rain will diminish through the day, but it will turn cooler then as we go through the day on Thursday. Here's a look at your first alert traffic maps. Outside of the foggy conditions, no other issues to report right now here on the roads in and around Madison. Looks like travel is still going at posted speeds heading into the capital city. And that's your first alert traffic.
Hattie, thank you. 6:34 right now. Thanksgiving is right around the corner, and many of us are gearing up for a delicious turkey dinner. But thousands of people don't have that simple luxury. Keely Arthur joins us live from the Goodman Community Center with how you can help this holiday season. Good morning, Keely.
Good morning, Josh. Yeah, we all have our Thanksgiving traditions, but the Goodman Community Center has one that is 31 years strong. They have collected thousands of cans of green beans, corn, anything you would need to make a Thanksgiving meal. They're going to put it all in a basket and then deliver it to people in need coming up this week. Now, I have here with me Sam McDaniel, and Sam is the food pantry coordinator. Sam, what are the items that you really need to make these baskets happen, and then how can people donate?
Yeah, we're on a good pace with pretty much everything. The 2 categories that we end up short at the end usually are cranberry sauce and canned fruit. All of the items we still need, those are the 2 that we're going to end up needing the most as we get to this weekend. And
people can come here, drop it off, or donate money online.
Yep, so the gym here at Goodman will be open until 5 today and tomorrow until 8 on Friday. Also, we can take donations at the center and then donations online at goodmancenter.org/Thanksgiving. 24/7. And those financial donations go a long way. They allow us to purchase stuff, and often at wholesale prices, so we can make your dollar go further.
That's awesome. And 22,000 meals hopefully created out of these baskets. Talk about the volunteers that make this happen.
Yeah, it really is everything we do at Goodman, but particularly this program. I'm the only paid person who works on this other than the next couple of days. Here at Goodman, we have between 600 and 700 volunteers over 8 weeks who work on it. This weekend, some of those people will spend 3 hours in a frozen truck carrying turkeys to and fro on that truck and just coming here to spend their own time doing that, and lots of other hard work, and everybody does it with a tremendous smile on their face and a real sense of community, which is what our center is all about and what this program is about too. It really is an incredible thing. When you see the number of people, we do a changeover and we have 50 volunteers on one shift and 50 on another, and everybody's high-fiving each other and everybody's in a great mood. It's a really, really cool thing.
Lots to be grateful for.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sam. And Josh, I know I've been teasing ahead to that 30,000 pounds of vegetables. that are going to be delivered. But as we know, it's a little foggy out there, so a little delay on the delivery. Hopefully in the next 15 minutes, so we'll get you a live look of that.
All right, Keely Arthur live for us. Keely, thank you. So with the holidays right around the corner, a safety group is warning us about the 10 most dangerous toys for kids. World Against Toys Causing Harm, or WATCH, is releasing its list. Among the most dangerous are a stuffed animal called Yeti, Nerf Ultra One, Spike the Fine Motor Hedgehog, and Nickelodeon Frozen Treat Slime. WATCH wants to point out that some toys that might look like fun could actually be a potential hazard. There were an estimated 250,000 toy-related injuries during a 2-year span between 2015 and 2017. 6:37 is your time, and coming up in the morning sprint, we're telling you about more planned blackouts in California as the threat of wildfires continues. But first, we're hearing from the Brewers president on the team's new look. You're watching News 3 Now this morning. We thank you for that, and we'll be right back. Welcome back at 6:41. We've been asking you to share your morning with us, and Leo sent in this picture of a sunrise in Monroe. Just an incredible picture here. We always love the colorful morning sunrise shots. Thank you so much for sharing, Leo. What does your morning look like? Take a picture, post it to the Channel 3000 Facebook page, and use the hashtag MyNews3Morning. The Brewers' new logo is getting pretty positive reviews from a lot of fans this week. From a business perspective, one of the reasons a team changes the logo is to sell more merchandise. And their revamped Brewers store, fan store, Miller Park is already loaded with new gear. A lot of the new stuff looks very similar to the old stuff, but there are 4 different versions of logos and some different lettering.
And I think true Brewers fans notice every little thing we do, and they're going to dissect it and be able to tell the difference. When we announced the new logo last night, the store opened, and we had lines out the door, and we were selling till midnight, so it was a lot of fun. The classic ball and glove is so popular. It was time to bring it back, and we made some updates, some modernized tweaks to it, if you will. Nothing too dramatic, because we wanted to stay true to the heritage.
Loving that new look. You can stock up on the new gear right now on the MLB Shop's website. 6:42 is your time. Hattie is tracking some dense fog that could make it difficult to see as you head off to work and school this morning. She'll have another update for us coming up next in the First Alert Weather and Traffic Center. But first, it is Wednesday, October 20th, and we want to say happy birthday to Cam, Liam, and all the other kids turning 3 today. Thanks for celebrating with News 3 Now this morning. .45 right now, and we're taking a live look at Highway 151 at American Parkway right now, where you can see some backups out there. We are hearing some reports of some crashes and some slowdowns due to that fog. And Hattie, that's going to be something we're going to be dealing with as that fog kind of surrounds southern Wisconsin this morning.
Yeah, that's true. Take a little extra time. Make sure you have the headlights on because it is pretty foggy in many spots. Here's the view from the Edgewater Skycam behind me. You can see the Capitol Dome, but not very well. Here's our Queen Bee Radio Skycam for contrast. Really can't see anything from that camera shot this morning. So some dense fog, that's the main issue as you step out the door this morning. The National Weather Service offices have issued a dense fog advisory. It covers our entire viewing area, and it goes until 9 o'clock this morning. This is why. Take a look at where that fog is the thickest. South of the Wisconsin River Valley, we're dealing with visibility about 1/4 of a mile. And again, it has come down here in Madison to 1/4 of a mile as well. So fog pretty thick in and around Madison and Dane County, even up to the north, visibility just at 1 mile in the Dells. Now this morning, their temperatures are actually above freezing, so that is the good news with that fog in place. But if you are thinking about yard work, I know a lot of us did not finish up this season as the snow came early this year. If you still have some leaves in your yard to rake, tomorrow's not going to be the day, but Friday and then especially into Saturday and the upcoming weekend, conditions are going to improve. So after a very wet Thursday, we'll dry out and it should be better for raking as we head into the upcoming weekend. Maybe the last good weekend before we get colder weather once again. Take a look at the current setup. Again, cloudy skies in place this morning. We have southerly winds and an area of low pressure moving out of the southwest over the next 24 hours. That's this area of low pressure right here. It has plenty of moisture to work with from the Pacific. It's going to tap into some Gulf Coast moisture as well. All of that means a very wet tonight into Thursday for Wisconsin. And you can see that most of the state will pick up rain from this particular system. Maybe the far northwards getting a little bit of snow. It is going to turn colder, though, through the day on Thursday as that cold front moves through. That sets us up, though, for pretty quiet weather for Friday and the upcoming weekend. As far as rain amounts are concerned, again, for the southern half of the state, 1/2 to maybe 1 inch of rain is expected. That may cause some area rivers and streams to rise. Weather track this morning. There are a few holes in the cloud cover across southwestern Wisconsin, but that is allowing that fog to develop. So we're not able to see those holes in the clouds this morning. Temperatures are in the 30s, coldest in the Dells where you have 33 degrees, 37 here in Madison. But your future track forecast model has clouds through the day. Will turn a little bit warmer though this afternoon. That south wind will bump temperatures into the 40s. And then we're talking a relatively mild night with that rain spreading in. After midnight, it gets pretty wet here across southern Wisconsin, and that rain continues through the morning on Thursday, diminishing in the afternoon. Our extended forecast has much cooler conditions on Friday, but Josh, a nice stretch of dry weather, especially through the weekend with some sunshine. We are keeping our eye on a storm system for next week. You see those alert days in the forecast ahead of Thanksgiving. Here's our Pet Walk forecast. Mandy and Casper in Deerfield. I don't know which one has the baby shark there, but I'm pretty proud of that toy.
Oh, I love it. Thank you, Hattie.
You're welcome.
Stay with us for the morning sprint. 6:52, time for the morning sprint as we get you out the door with everything you need to know to plan your day. And we start with breaking news this morning. One person is in the hospital after a rollover crash on the Beltline. It happened just before 11:30 last night in the westbound lanes near Rimrock Road. It comes less than 12 hours after an earlier rollover crash on the Beltline between Monona Drive and Southtown Drive. One person died at the scene and another was seriously injured after being ejected in that crash. One student is hurt after a rollover crash involving a school bus. This happened in western Wisconsin near Arcadia when the bus lost control on a patch of mud. The bus was carrying around 20 children at the time. Right now, Madison police are looking for a group of teenagers they say robbed a gas station on the west side overnight. It happened just before midnight at the Speedway gas station at Verona Road and Raymond Road. Police say 3 people walked in and showed the clerk a silver gun with brown grips and green laser sights. They ran from the gas station and haven't been found yet. A man is dead and is in the 5th officer-involved shooting around the state in less than a month. Police say Luis Cardona kidnapped his ex-girlfriend from her workplace yesterday morning at gunpoint. Officers tracked Cardona down near an ATV park in Kewaunee County where Cardona shot his ex-girlfriend. A deputy fired his weapon, killing Cardona. The ex-girlfriend was transported to the hospital for her injuries and her condition is still unknown this morning. Police are showing us how they were able to end a chase in a swamp near the Alliant Energy Center. It started as a traffic stop for a registration violation, but when the car seems to come to a stop, 28-year-old Uriah Smith jumps out of the passenger door and runs into a nearby marsh. Smith was spotted with the drone's infrared camera picked up his body heat. He was stuck waist deep in water and mud. Smith is now charged with resisting an officer.
We're dealing with some pretty dense fog this morning. A dense fog advisory in effect until 9 o'clock for all of our viewing area. Visibility from Madison and down to Platteville over to Monroe just at a quarter of a mile this morning. So plan a little extra time to get to your destination. Once the fog lifts, we have milder temperatures today. Still mostly cloudy skies, but highs will reach the low to mid 40s this afternoon.
There is a lot to be thankful about this morning here at the Goodman Community Center. 30,000 pounds of vegetables are being donated right here. It's all part of their Thanksgiving basket drive that's going to help feed thousands of hungry families here in our community. Now, these baskets are filled with things like veggies, canned green beans, corn, stuffing, even turkeys, anything you need to make an incredible Thanksgiving meal. Now, this is a 31-year tradition here at Goodman, and organizers expect this year to be their biggest yet. 22,000 meals will help feed the hungry this Turkey Day, but they still need plenty of donations. For details on how you can get involved, head to our website. Christina?
With Thanksgiving this week, we're kicking off the holiday travel season. It's also cold and flu season, and doctors from the Mayo Clinic say there are 3 things you can do to avoid getting sick. The number 1 most important thing you can do is really obvious. Wash your hands before and after you eat, before and after you travel, probably even right now. 2, make managing your holiday stress a priority. Stress leads to less sleep, a poor diet, lack of exercise, and all of those things make you more likely to get sick. And tip 3, drink lots of water. Doctors from the Mayo Clinic say people are more dehydrated over the holidays and airplanes are already dehydrating. Josh.
Christina, thank you. We're just hours from the 4th round of public hearings for the ongoing impeachment inquiry into President Trump. This morning, we'll hear from Gordon Sondland, Laura Cooper, and David Hale. We've already heard from 3 people who were on the president's phone call to Ukraine. That's at the center of the inquiry. Watch CBS This Morning's full coverage starting this morning at 8 o'clock. The top 10 candidates for the Democratic presidential nomination are getting ready to take the stage tonight in Atlanta. The debate comes less than 3 months before the first primaries. Candidates will be sharing their stances on key issues like health care, immigration, climate change, and foreign policy. You can watch the party's 5th debate at 8 tonight. Vice President Mike Pence is making another visit to Wisconsin today. The vice president's office says he'll be touring Marinette Marine as well as speaking during his time in the Badger State. The visit was originally scheduled for October but was canceled because of another event being held by the president last minute in D.C. 6:56, Josh Tim has a final look at your first alert traffic. Hi, Josh.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Very foggy right now here in southern Wisconsin. Just make sure you give yourself a few minutes extra to get to where you're heading. Already delays showing up on the westbound side of the Beltline from Stoughton Road to John Nolan. Inbound side of John Nolan starting to tap the brakes between Rimrock and Olin Avenue as you make your way into downtown Madison. And other main routes, including the interstate, they're moving along at the usual speeds right now with no major crashes or delays. Your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Josh, thank you.
It is a very foggy start this morning. Here's a live look from Platteville, where we're not able to see much from our Queen Bee Radio Sky camera shot. Here's a view in Madison. Still foggy here as well. Temperatures will slowly climb through the 30s into the 40s this afternoon. The fog will lift, but we're left with quite a few clouds through the remainder of the day. Rain then develops overnight tonight into Thursday morning. It's milder tomorrow, but very wet.
All right, Hattie, thank you. Take it slow and be safe out there this morning. Make it a great day.